Today on a podcast, we are talking The Pendragon Wytch. I have sadly not read this book yet, but it is coming up on my TBR. But Sass has read it and Sass loves it. So Sass is going to tell us everything we need to know about The Pendragon Wytch without giving too much away. So if you're like me and you haven't read it, then you are good to go. All right. So let's start off before we get into the book with our question of the week. What do you got for me, Sass?
I'm going to hit you with the hard-hitting questions today. I want to know, what is one of your goals for the year?
Oh, that's easy. I can do that. Do you want life goals or do you want like reading goals? Where are we feeling with this question?
Whatever floats your boat. I was thinking like bookish goals, but if your life goal's better, I don't mind.
I mean, my life goal is to just find a new job, but you know, my bookish goal, I'd like to actually get to 100 books this year. I'm not too stressed. So last year I got to 97 and I technically cheated. I just read a bunch of Christmas smut novellas at the end of the year to get as close as I did. But I also started in March. So I didn't really start reading until March and I got to 97. So I'm hoping it's only 3 more books for January and February. I think I can handle it. So my goal is to read 100 books this year and see if I can do it.
I reckon you can.
But also have a social life because I can't not have a social life. So we'll see.
It's a
little ambitious. But I also like to preface it, like I do teach, so I do have off all summer. So a lot of my reading happens like over Christmas break and spring break and summer. So I'm not just a psycho that works all the time and then also just sits and reads all the time too. I do sleep and I do have a social life. So
I love it.
Just thought you should know.
Just in case you thought you were a psycho.
Well, I know like there's like this whole, and I hate it because like I have friends who read like 150, 200 books. Like that's what they do. And I love it. But there are also people out there that I noticed, especially like towards the end of the year where like a lot of people are like, it's okay if you didn't get your goal. But there are other people that are like, only psychos do that. Like who actually has time to read? And I'm like, who are you? Like, I don't know, just like the cattiness, like let people live their lives. Them reading 100, 150 books is not going to affect you. So, like, leave them alone.
Exactly. Yeah. Whatever floats someone else's boat, that's what we should do.
And you know what? Everyone reads at a different pace. So just because you can, like, you read slower and take your time doesn't mean that other people can't read faster. So it's the hate for me. I don't like it.
Yeah, 100%.
But what's your goal?
Oh, okay. My bookish goals, I did post them on my Instagram. I had quite a few, but I think like my main one is just to mood read my way through 2024. Like that's what I did all of 2023 and I loved it. I think all up I read like 58 books, which is like the most I've ever read in my life, which is pretty good for me. It's my first like full reading year again, and there was a lot of slumps in there. Like the month that my TikTok got banned, I didn't read any books. I was so depressed.
Yeah, so, I don't blame you. I'd be the same.
It was awful. So yeah, I had some slumps in there, but I don't really have any like goal of how many books I'm going to read. I think that would just stress me out too much and I would like lose the joy of why I enjoy like reading, because I don't want to like for me, I'm not saying that like this is bad for anyone else, but for me, if I gave myself a number, I would get so stressed out about it. So I'm just mood reading my way through 2024. I think it's going to be great. So far, I'm actually not mood reading my way through 2024. I'm reading all the books on my TBR, but I will get there. I will get to mood reading.
That is my problem. Is I have so many books on my TBR that I like haven't read yet, and so my plan, because I am type A in certain aspects of my life and very much type B in everything else. I mean, blame the Gemini in me. It's what I do for everything. But I like sat down and scheduled my way through 2024 with books. Because I am a mood reader, but I have so many books on my TBR that I'm like, if I don't read these soon, like nobody's going to care. Like, you know what I mean? But I'm going to care. And I'm going to like, for example, I've had The Secret Life of Addie or The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue on my TBR since like the summer. Like, I need to read that book soon. Like, there's no excuse as to why I haven't read it yet. It just keeps getting pushed and pushed and pushed. So what I did was I scheduled, like I took my number, I broke it down by month, and then I scheduled certain books that I have to force myself to read in that month. But then the other ones are mood read books. So like, for example, I have to finish Crescent City this month. There's no ifs, ands, or buts. So that way I can read Crescent City 3 for February. But there are spaces in however many books I need that I can read. Like the Pendragon Wytch is on my list. Like I can read those whenever I feel like it. You know what I mean? So that's just a little bit of my brain and how crazy it is.
I love it. Yeah, I'm trying to be chill. I'm trying to be super chill this year and just like vibe my way through it. No numbers for me, no like stressing about anything of that sort. I think last year I was really focused on like just like exceeding everything and like smashing my goals, and this year I'm like, I'm just gonna see what everything kind of turns out like and hope for the best. What is my I don't know, I'm like a different person. If I had said this to myself 3 years ago, I would have knocked myself out. And now I'm like, man, I'm chill.
Like I need it, but I also think I need it because like if I don't, my ADHD is so all over the place. If I don't tell myself you have to read it this month or else you can't read this one that month, like I'm going to have to, because it's the only way I'm going to get through series. It's the only way I'm going to like read books that people are like, Jen, how have you not read that yet? Like I want to read Percy Jackson. The TV show just came out. I've never read that. Like I would love to read it.
Yeah, I've never read it either. I thought about it, but then I was like, nah. It's just too
well, it came after our time. And that's when I have to like remind myself, like all these people, like all my friends are like, this is so great, blah, blah, I love it. And I'm like, you're younger than me though. Like I was in college when that came out. So I was too busy partying.
Yeah, same. Yeah. We were living our lives.
Yeah. Like I wasn't thinking, I was thinking about the Greek gods, but in a way different way.
I love that for you.
Mythology nerd over here, in case anybody didn't know.
That is so good for theories. I can't believe we've never talked about like SJM theories before together. Maybe we should.
Because I am the worst at theories. I love listening to theories, but I don't ever come up with my own.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Interesting.
Like I think it was you that posted the one about Tamlin's heart. No, was that you? Was that not you?
No, but somebody posted what it was on one of my Tamlin videos, and I was like, the words don't hurt.
Mm-hmm. I don't remember who posted it. I'll have to like when I find it again, I'll put it in like the caption so that somebody can like go see it. But like that, I was like, I was just like, oh, it's a rock. Like I never ever would have put that connection together. Like I just assumed Amarantha did it. Like Amarantha made his heart stone in the curse and it was just a rock. Like I would have never made that connection.
I feel like every time I do a reread, I find something else. Like, but then I'm like, are we just like overdoing it now? But then I'm also like, it's so much fun to me. Like, I don't see it as work or like something to compete with. I just think it's really fun. And so I've taken this new sort of route with people who comment getting really angry. And I'm like, I'm so sorry. I just made this for fun. I'm sorry if it offended you. That's what I keep saying. And people are like, oh,
I will never.
It's just weird, but like people comment back and they're like, "Oh no, you didn't," and I'm like, "Okay, good."
Weird. Then why bother?
Totally.
So like, I also think too, like I haven't done a reread yet. Like I'm still on my SJM journey. So I think maybe it'll be different when I do start my reread. Like after I finish Crescent City, I'm gonna start the ACOTAR reread again. Well, no, I have to finish Throne of Glass first, and then I will do the Avatar reread. But like, I think it'll be different then. I can actually, instead of just sitting and trying to understand and enjoy it for the first time, like I can actually go back and do theories and things like that. And deep dives and looking and things like that. So we'll see.
Good luck with the end of Throne of Glass.
I heard. I'm not thrilled. But all right. So
Anyway.
now that we've thoroughly gone on a tangent about SJM like usual, let's talk Pendragon. So give us a little summary about the Pendragon Wytch, please.
Cool. All right. So it is a sapphic fantasy. It's so good.
Love that.
So good. The author...
We need more of those in our life.
Right. The author is, I think she's from New Zealand. She's lovely, really, really nice human. So we've connected on socials, and she is just a lovely human, and I was giving her all of my thoughts and feedback during each chapter. I was like, and then I got to the end of the book and I messaged her. I was like, "Are you joking?" And she was like, "Oh, I got you, didn't I?" It was so good. So I really, really enjoyed this book. As you can see, it's quite a thick boy, but I found every single chapter I was eating it up.
Oh, I love it. Because it's a King Arthur retelling, right? And I love that.
It's part of a bigger series. I haven't read the other books, but there are I don't even want to say the wrong number, but there are quite a few other books in the series, but they all interconnect, but you don't have to read the other books to understand this book.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah.
And are the other ones sapphic too, or are they just
I don't know. I think they might have elements of sapphic in them, but they're not all sapphic.
Got it. Okay.
So I need to go in and read further, and I do want to read all of them this year because, CC is onto something.
The important question.
Yeah.
Is there a why choose for me?
Not in this book, but in future books there will be. So it sets you up. So we start off with a female-female romance, and we set ourselves up for a polyamorous relationship in the next books.
Yes, I'm ready. CC, give it to me. I'm ready.
Yeah, it's so good.
Love it. All right. So what was your overall rating for this book?
I gave this one 4 out of 5.
So for the storyline specifically, what would you rate it?
I gave the storyline a 3.5 out of 5. I really enjoyed the twists and turns in this book. I especially loved the ending. I felt like there were moments where I wanted just a little bit more spice. That's just because I'm
understandable.
I'm a dirty girl. But no, the storyline was really, really good. So you follow 2 different characters' point of views, and then you get one final different point of view at the very, very end. So we follow Morgana, who is this shadow mummy. She's amazing. And
love a good shadow.
Yeah, it's so good. And also, oh my god, why have I forgotten his name? Am I on drugs?
I don't know, are you?
I mean, maybe I am.
I think we're all a little on some kind of medication.
No, Merlin. So, duh. So we
Merlin?
Yeah. I'm an idiot. I'm an actual idiot. So we follow Merlin, who's with the Pendragon. So he's with King Arthur. So he's in a different part of the country. And then we follow Morgana. And she is so she's this shadow mummy. She has this really cool powers where she can shadow walk. So we kind of start off the story from Merlin's point of view, and he's doing his thing with a gal. It's great. It starts off real spicy, with a bang. We just get straight into it, and you're like, oh, okay.
Love it.
Yeah. No, so I found the storyline really, really good because you have these 2 different points of views, and like we talked about in one of our older episodes, you obviously know by now that I do love a journey and adventure when it comes to a book. And this book
Absolutely.
is entirely a journey. So you're never really stuck in one like place. They really do travel quite a lot. So yeah, loved.
Love that. So what about the characters? So you talked about King Arthur, Merlin, Morgana.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we have Gwen. Gwen. So Gwen and Morgana are they were brought up together. So they're not related, but they were brought up together, and Gwen has a sister called Sorsha and a brother called Tieg. Tieg. I'm pretty sure that's how you say it. It did take me like a little bit of time to get everyone's names right because they're all Gaelic. They are a little bit like harder to get your brain around. Like I was literally training some people and we were talking about names, and there are a lot like his name is Tieg, but it sounds like tugged. So it like took my brain ages to get into that. So Morgana's brought up with these Sylvyns, so they get pointed ears at some point in their adult lives. And the Sylvyns have basically been wiped out by the Pendragon. So King Arthur in this circumstance is evil. Like we don't like King Arthur, and Merlin is working with him, but Merlin is not on his side per se.
Got it.
So I definitely enjoyed like all of the point of views from Morgana's point of view. I loved because I really enjoyed her character. She's a bitch. She's very strong-willed. In I think the second chapter, when you meet her for the first time, she tells the man to fuck off, like at a ball, and it's so good.
She did.
She's literally, she is me. It's, you know what? Your books for last episode, my book
this
is this
one's
episode.
you.
I am
love it.
I even cosplayed her because I just love her so much. She's so slay. So yeah,
That's
she's
awesome.
a shadow mummy. She's just got a lot going for her. She's really has underdeveloped powers because no one's been able to teach her how to use her powers because no one really understands them. So she's like super powerful but doesn't know how to control her power. So I found that to be very interesting. I found Merlin's point of view a little bit more slow. I didn't like his character as much, but that's probably because we're only getting the very start of him. I don't think it's necessarily a bad thing. I just think I didn't get as much from him as I got from Morgana and Gwen. So I really, really loved all the side characters as well. Like Tieg was a really cool character. He was a fixer-upper. I messaged Cece and I was like, I want to fix him. Just like, yeah.
Isn't that every girl's downfall though? Like we gotta stop that.
And then Sorsha as well, who's Gwen's sister, she is so cool too. She was really strong-willed. I have a picture of her and it's safe for work, so I'm going to show you that. Sorsha is so cool.
I love her.
Yeah, she's so cool. They're all such cool characters. I loved them all, to be honest.
Good, that's awesome. So what would you rate out of 5 for the characters?
Probably, I'm going to say a 4.
Okay.
I really enjoyed the characters.
Nice. So now my favorite part, the spice.
So
what would you rate the spice and why?
So the spice, I'll break it down in 2 parts. So the first part is how spicy was the entire book. It's not that spicy. So probably like 2 out of 5 spices for me because it wasn't actually that spicy. But the spice that we did get, I would give it a 4.5 out of 5. It was
nice.
Premium quality.
A beautiful spice.
Yeah. It was so good. So all of the spice really, besides like Merlin's encounter at the beginning, it's mostly just Morgana and Gwen's spice, and it's very like, it's very good. It's very, very good because Morgana uses her shadows. Yeah, she really is a shadow mummy. She's great. So,
I love it.
Probably like 40% of the way into the book is when you get the spice, and then like these two have been longing for each other for a really long time, and finally they kind of like get into it, and it's nice. It's very romantic as well. Like, as well as being spicy, it's very romantic. I will say there are bonus chapters. So this is the random book that I'm holding as well. So just FYI as well, I got this as a PR from the lovely people at House of Fables. Thank you, Sam. Again, for the 20 billionth time. But the bonus chapters are basically just spice. So I won't show you everything.
So, wait, does that mean that I can't get it? I can't get the bonus chapters?
So you can, and they're free, I'm pretty sure, when you purchase the ebook. I'm pretty sure.
Okay.
I'll double check for you, but you can definitely get the bonus chapters. They are available.
Okay, good. Because, like, I need them.
Yeah. So one of the bonus chapters is from Saoirse's point of view, and one of them is from, it's Morgana and Gwen and Saoirse, and I won't say the other character. But yeah, they're really nice.
Okay. Nice. Pacing. What would you say the pacing is?
Probably a 3. There were times when it was a bit stagnant, but during those stagnant times where it wasn't like, you know, adventure and fighting and war, it was learning things about other people's magic. So it wasn't that there was anything wrong with the pacing, because you're learning all this like interesting stuff about their magic and learning a lot of history about some of the other characters and where they came from. Like, for example, there's a point where Morgana, Gwen, and Saoirse stay with a family where Gwen lived for most of her life, and you get to meet the man that she was going to potentially marry, and Morgana's like,
no, thank you.
Yeah, so it was a lot more like psychological, and there was a lot going on, but I really did enjoy the pacing of the book. I just think for me, I find those like moments where you're getting info dumps can be a bit boring, but that's just a me thing. I would say it like detracts from how good the book was.
Okay, nice. Favorite quotes?
Okay. Okay, so it's really interesting because there are quotes in here that are in Gaelic. So there are some specific, so there are some translations in here. So Morgana's shadows whisper to her a lot, and they whisper to her in Gaelic. So Cece purposefully puts at the beginning like how to pronounce everything, and how to, like the translation of certain things that the shadows say. So there's one, there's so many, but this one in particular, the shadows whisper to Morgana at one point in the book when she's trying to expel power to save people, and her shadows say, "You are not ready, my love." And it's just like, there's just something, there's a higher power at work. I just really, really enjoyed that. There was also another part. Gwen is such an interesting character because she's the person in the book that you kind of want to be the leader, and unfortunately she isn't because of other siblings. But there are points where she says, "They're all looking to me," she said, her voice strained, "and I am breaking." And then Morgana says, "They're looking at you because you're worthy, Gwen."
Oh.
Like, there's just so many nice romantic moments in this book that I just love. And also, so Merlin starts dreaming about Morgana's voice, and he hears her voice because he's got his little bird. Oh my god, what's it called? He's got a little bird that basically like spies for him, and the bird picks up Morgana's voice and then speaks it back to him. It's all he can think about. So it's so good. And like there's a part where Merlin's dreaming and he says, "I woke from a husky, seductive voice. Enjoy your night, princess." And that's what Morgana says to Gwen. She always calls her princess. So yeah, lots of really, really nice quotes in here. I really, really enjoyed Gwen's character, and how like unsure of herself she was, and how Morgana just like was like, no, I love you. You can do this.
Oh, that's so great. I love it. And I mean, I love characters named Gwen. So.
You sure do.
So favorite spice.
So
Finishing up.
there really wasn't a lot. So really there were only like a couple of scenes. But yeah, the spice that we did get was so good. I don't want to tell you too much about it, but just know those shadows. Beautiful.
Oh, God. I mean, it's not going to ruin the plot of the story, so you can tell me.
Well, basically they do things. They they do the girly things. They do the girly pop things. And it's really hot, but it's also very like sensual. It's very like it's just women, man. I just love women. It's just so different from men. It's just so much more gentle and so much more beautiful, I think. So I really, really enjoyed having spice that was from girl's point of view. It was great.
Is there anything else that you wanted to talk about in regards to this book?
I did just want to say it's such a good book. As someone who's like not really like, you're more of a King Arthur person than I am, but I thoroughly enjoyed the lore in this book. Like, really enjoyed it. There's so much about like the magic in this book that I really loved. Like the magic system is really, really interesting, and the different types of people and their magic was really, really fun. I felt like I hadn't read anything similar. Like, obviously everything is quite similar when you start reading fantasy, but for me it felt different. It felt fresh. It was also just really nice to read a sapphic fantasy book that wasn't huge. Like, everyone's like, read Priory of the Orange Tree, and I'm like, have you seen the size of that book?
Yeah.
And it's not even spicy. It's just sapphic. So to have a book that, was reasonably sized, well-paced, had really well thought out characters, and was really based around two women becoming powerful and strong. It was really, really nice. So I enjoyed the book a lot from that perspective. And I think as someone who is gay, it is really nice just to know that more authors are feeling comfortable to publish works that are sapphic, and to know that just because they're not cis het sex, they can still be popular books and they can still do well. So yeah.
Absolutely. Well, I'm excited to read it. It is on my list for February because I have to finish Crescent City first. So I will be reading it in February, and I cannot wait because it sounds so good. And I mean, it's got all the things I like, so
you're gonna love it.
I can't wait.
Maybe we can cosplay. You can be Gwen.
I'm down. Let's do it. We can cosplay. Just do every character named Gwen from now on. That's like, can you imagine just like an account of Gwens, all the different Gwens that are.
I kind of like that idea.
You could. Quinn reads Gwen.
I love it. I'm here for it.
I love it. All right. Well, yeah. So if you have not read this book, definitely check it out because it sounds phenomenal. I will be reading it. If you want to read it with me in February, we can buddy read it. I'm down. Love a good buddy read. So yeah, check it out if you have not yet.
Yes, and don't forget to follow our socials. We are on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, and obviously here on Spotify. So please, please, please give us a follow, give us a like. We really appreciate everyone who has given us so much support already. We really appreciate you guys. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.